Caution, Breathe, Iris, Light, Mind, Flash, J-Doll, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much, Slayer Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world, LG, Intel Centrino, GOMTV, Star Invitational.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Nick Casel's Plot at the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. It's been a real thrill to be broadcasting to all of you. We've got another great game coming up. Berserker, also known as Iris, against the infamous Bisu. There's been a lot of people down here at the event, a lot of people tuning in online, a lot of people discussing stuff on the forums. One of the biggest esports events in history with the most badass game ever made, StarCraft. We've already seen, oh, whoop, see, I can make a sign too, guys. Watch this. See, I got my little sign too, all right? So I can do my little fangirl stuff too. I've been working on trying to become a better Korean fangirl. It's really not as easy as I thought, especially because I'm a male, but don't worry. I was actually going to save that one until the match started, but I was worried they might not get a shot of my face, and then I would have wasted, my entire 15 seconds drawing this great I Love Bisu sign on there. All right. Bisu versus Berserker soon on Blue Storm. I am just so excited to see how this is going to unfold. Berserker's a really, really, really strong player, but at the same time, Bisu's ranked #1 in the entire world right now. He has been ranked #1 for some time now. If we look at the player's statistics, Bisu's versus Terran, actually, hold that thought. I'm going to just say Iris's or Berserker's. His overall record versus Protoss in the last 10 games, 7-3, ranked 12th on Kespa. One of the main players on CJ. I casted, my first cast ever with this guy was at BlizzCon, where he just tore Yellow to shreds. And who knows, he could very well do that to Bisu. I have to say he's very well known for his aggressive style. That's how he gained his nickname, the Berserker Terran. Occasionally he becomes overly aggressive and then ends up throwing away his advantage. But many times it ends up in his favor. Here we have Bisu, the man I made the sign for. The #1 ranked player in the world. He is rather talented, to say the least. And if we look at his last 10 games versus Terran, he's 8-2. So we have basically an 8-2 PvT record versus a 7-3 TvP record. A slight favoring for Bisu, but again, it's hard to say who's really the favorite here. I would still say Bisu, but man, Iris is so good. Our final match of the tournament, by the way, will be Stork versus C. And I want to let you guys know I may be making a world record here right now for how many Ricolas I can consume within a few hour period, just to maintain some semblance of a throat. Note that Bisu blowing on his hands. He wants to keep his hands warm. Players generally say they can't play with cold hands. They aren't able to utilize the dexterity they have generally. I've seen some players use hot pads, other players use warm rags. It looks like he just warms them up with his mouth. Both players have joined. Both seem interested in starting the game so soon. When the Korean commentators are done talking, this game will begin. And two giants, two Goliaths, metaphorically, not the Terran units, will battle it out to see who will make it to the semifinals of one of the most important game tournaments in history, the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. Stay tuned. The game has begun. Iris at the top right on Blue Storm. Bisu at the bottom left. Note it, Bisu has already sent out the probe. There he is, Bisu. The man I made the sign for. This is so early, I question if it really is an early gas steal. It may be a fast pylon somewhere. Maybe he's going to try to sneak the probe inside of Berserker's base. It's hard to say. But the positioning of the pylon is going to be so pivotal for how this game unfolds. And it looks like it's going to be at the middle right. Probe's so eager to make that he's going in circles. Now he will take a peek. He wants to see, is the Terran going to wall in? The Terran is not. Berserker, known for his aggressive style, wants to get his units out earlier and instead is making a supply depot and most likely the barracks next to his command center, thus getting the SCVs back onto the minerals quicker. However, with a fast gateway, it could be a big uh-oh. And by the way, that guy's sign is not as cool as mine. Or as gay. Not that it matters. Now, here we go. Barracks going up. I would presume this is a gateway on 9 for Bisu, followed up with a gateway on 10. Sacrificing a few probes. This is going to be very, 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 very difficult for Terran to hold off. Especially if you have a Zealot micro like Bisu. All right, if he can get this SCV, it'll be even worse. It'll be even worse, and it looks like he may be able to get it right now. Nope, SCV's repairing, but a few minerals behind. Berserker will be. A bunker will be absolutely necessary to win this game for Bisu. Looked like one of the SCVs had Tourette's there for a minute. He was twitching out. All right, here we go. First Zealot on the move. And soon, Berserker has not yet scouted the proxy, although it's probably aware of what's going on now. Attacking the first SCV that is making the factory. If he gets that SCV, he'll have to put another one on there. Note the positioning of the depot and the barracks make it very easy to micro Marines in between them. And look at Berserker's micro, but not good enough apparently. As only one Marine against two Zealots can now close in on either side. A third Zealot comes in. An almost impossible scenario for Berserker to recover from. He should have played more cautiously as Boxer did in this. Zealots dealing a lot of damage to SCVs, but surprisingly, Berserker is actually managing to hold off a sizable amount of Zealots, and another Zealot goes down. Berserker's still in this, but more Zealots are on the way. Note that Bisu is not even making probes right now. This is a very, 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 very aggressive strategy by Bisu. If Berserker can weather the storm, he may be able to come back and win this, picking off both those gateways outside of his opponent's base. Now the last Zealot attempting to take out, no, two more Zealots now coming in. Soon, though, Berserker will have a Vulture Bike. Apparently, Berserker's building positioning is much better than I had actually expected it to be. Now Dragoons will soon come into play. Dragoons stronger against the Vulture Bike. Marines stronger against the Zealots stronger against the Marines. Now he realizes that he's going to be in tough shape unless he gets his bunker up. Here come the Zealots now attacking these Marines, and a few more Dragoons have come into the battle, but he's trying to pick off as many Marines as possible. The bunker is up, and Bisu's rush is not in good shape. What would have looked like an easy win for Bisu has suddenly become a very difficult uphill battle where he is behind economically and maybe behind positionally if Berserker can last for a few more minutes. He will need Dragoon range if he wants to break down that bunker. I don't think he's upgraded that, or no, it doesn't look like he got that. Either that or he'll have to run by the bunker. But I believe directly engaging the bunker could be a critical blunder. We'll also want to watch very carefully to see if the Terran's tank can get out in time. Robo Bay, rather than the Citadel. And he has done a wall-in over here. He does not want to let those Dragoons get by. Had Bisu gone for a Citadel, he could pick off the SCVs attempting to make that and maybe come in with an efficient DT rush, but maybe not. He may use this barracks to complete a wall-in that will block off any type of Dragoon bum rushing past the bunker. Perhaps we will see a Reaver drop. It's unclear. We will expect to see more probes, though, from Bisu, who is now behind as long as Terran can last through this possible rush. Looks like something's going to be going on here with that probe. He may be trying to build something there, or he may just be looking for any type of drop, which may be leaving. It doesn't look like Bisu has opted to make any more Dragoons either, realizing that his rush has essentially failed due to his really bad micro back there against the Marines. And Berserker's really good micro. Siege mode is complete. The rush is failed. And Bisu's aggression worked against him as he made the gateway too close. Berserker can pick that off from home, it seems. 2 more Zealots made out of the gateways before Berserker leaves. Zealots and Dragoons together can really complement themselves against an early game Terran army. When Terran starts to get bigger, Zealots become less useful until they have the leg upgrade or until they get inside of a shuttle. Expansion going up for Berserker, and a Reaver drop soon to happen with Bisu. Someone says they're really enjoying the matches. They're really looking forward to seeing Bisu in action. I am as well. I'm really excited to see Bisu in such a bad position. I want to see how he's going to play this out since he is such a good player. Someone else says, I'm doing a good job being a Korean fangirl. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do agree with you. Soon I will be able to top the Korean fangirls. Once I've beaten them, then first the Korean fangirls, then the world, I think. They are more rabid than I am, though. Reaver out now. And it looks as though Bisu will actually wall himself inside of his base. An interesting tactical position. Maybe he's going to use the 2 Zealots and the Reaver to then do some type of, I know we all hate the strategy name, but Bulldog Rush. Maybe he's going to use the 2 Zealots and the Reaver to draw the Terran forces back. Here they come now, by the way. Dragoons do not have range, making them much, much, much weaker against an army of this sort. Here comes the Reaver now, and uh-oh. He's going to have to back off very quickly. Oh, my God. The dumbest scarab in the world just happened to be hired by Bisu. Here he comes now with the Reaver, going to pick off the tank in siege mode, but he has forced him back, and the expansion is vulnerable. Once again, it's all about how he micros this Reaver with that turret up. Oh! He has almost lost the shuttle. Bisu now backed into a corner and in a position where his Dragoons cannot escape. Reaver tells the Vulture Bikes to back off. Now he's now moving in. Oh, no! Bisu proceeding very cautiously with the shuttle. If he loses the shuttle, I can 99% guarantee you he will lose the game. Or at least if he loses the shuttle with the Reaver. Being very aggressive at picking off these tanks. But aggressive may not be enough, as he's already lost 4 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, and has a shuttle that is more wounded than Bambi's mom right now. She didn't even get to use her sign. I'm already winning this battle. Here comes 2 shuttles now. Very interesting play by Bisu. I have to say, Bisu's in an absolutely awful position right now. I mean, there's no exaggeration or understatement there. This is just what is up, and he's going to have to do something unbelievable if he wants to come back and win this. I'm interested in seeing what the plans are with the shuttle. A quick Reaver drop here, and Reaver's going down. Shuttle's dying. GG. Bisu's rather good strategy at the start worked against him, and he had to forfeit that game. Not going to pull a J-Dog and drag it out when he knows he's already lost. Very, very, very impressive game by Berserker, who just managed. Apparently the positioning of his buildings was actually much more rush safe than it appeared. He was able to micro in between the depot and the barracks into such a way where the Zealots couldn't quite get him unless he came in from two sides, then using the SCVs and controlling perfectly. More than likely spamming that right-click attack with the SCVs, because for some reason there's a bug at StarCraft where if you actually spam right-click, the SCVs do more damage because the attack frame is slower than the damage cooldown. Fun fact. The next map will be Katrina. Terran versus Protoss. Berserker the Terran and Bisu the Protoss. Bisu losing a Protoss versus Terran, a matchup he does not normally lose. It's not his best matchup. Protoss versus Zerg is his best, which means he will not be as powerful going into this tournament since J-Dong is no longer around. The Terrans really proving that they know how to fight off these top players. Terrans are probably, I believe the highest ranked Terran is now 5, so Terran's not the highest ranked, but
Caution, Free, Iris, Light, Mine, Flash, J-Dog, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much. Slayer, Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world. LG, Intel Centrino, GOMTV, Star Invitational.
we're back. There we see the infamous Berserker, also known as Iris, just recently changing his name due to the fact that he's been nicknamed the Berserker by the Korean fan community. Bisu at the north. Bisu will absolutely have an advantage on this map. This map favors Protoss against Terran. Carriers are ridiculous. Just out of control. But at the same time, Bisu did beat Light, I believe, in his group using Arbiters, really proving that, hey, he can do just about whatever he wants to be Terrans on this map. One thing about this map is that the very structure of it is so difficult for Terrans to actually chase down and eliminate carriers that once the carrier numbers begins to build up, it's just almost impossible for Terran to do anything. Especially when you have any type of ground army to back up the carrier army. And it looks like the game started out pretty standard. First thing we want to look for is if Bisu gets the Nexus first or if he gets the Gateway first. Gateway first on this map, going to play it a little bit safer than normal. And the barracks now being constructed. Neither player getting the fast command center or the fast Nexus. But we will probably still see those buildings sooner rather than later. Berserker showing that he really can hold off a powerful all-in rush by Bisu. I'm fairly sure that Bisu was 99% confident he was going to win once he realized that the Terran didn't wall in. There's a different recovery build you can use where you go one gateway if they do all in. But he got to do the all-in aggressive build. Note the positioning of the Vespian gas geyser only allows for 4 probes to be in there rather than 3 to be the maximum. There is Garimto and Paul. 2 very nice guys. They were casting the previous games. The big question is, how is Bisu going to play this out now that he did not fast Nexus? Now that he did not capitalize on that very strong early advantage that he could have taken. It will be impossible for Protoss to scout exactly what Terran's doing, leaving Bisu in the dark to some extent. This means that Bisu may not be aware of... Well, Bisu has to guess if he really went fast command center, or did he go to factory first? Did he go to starport early even? There's a lot of questions that are probably stirring in Bisu's mind. And stirring very quickly they are, as Bisu may be eliminated if he does not win this. And it looks like here comes the SSCV managing to sneak inside, spotting Dragoon range being upgraded. We'll have to see if Bisu cancels and then transitions into something else, or if he stays strong and follows the course. Oh, man. This is just so exciting, these two players. I can't wait. SCV taken out, but Berserkers now realize that there has not been a fast Nexus set up yet. Early add-on. And depot there. The SCV, when he completes, will then make a command center. That's only a logical reason why I can imagine him actually making the depot there. It would have been quicker had he made it next to the minerals, like the other two. I'm sitting in some kind of weird elevation in this chair. My feet actually don't touch the floor. I feel like I'm like a baby in a high chair or something. But I guess I am the baby here compared to these StarCraft giants. Nexus for Bisu. Now we see the Stargate, so the course will be carriers. However, unlike some of the other games we've seen, he will not be able to get... Well, he did not get Reavers early on, which is normally something you can use to really help back up your carrier army and really help buy time. Now here we see Berserker planting a few mines. We don't want Bisu's Dragoons to run into those, but... Oh! They did run into them. Which means that if the Terran pushes, he will be facing some mushy, squishy Dragoons that are not that high on hit points. And that immediately, Bisu's making the, Berserker's making the armory. Now, that doesn't mean that he knows the carries are coming yet. Terrans almost always get early army on this map. Because honestly, most of the time, Protoss gets the carriers anyways, but also because it really makes for a strong +1 push mid-game when Protoss tries to get their next expansion. You can set up your army really easily outside the mineral location. The upcoming mineral location, Vulture Bite goes down, so Berserker's still unaware of what's going on. He has a good idea, though, judging by the Dragoon count. And when this academy finishes, scanners will be up. When the scanners are up, the scans go down. Note also that Bisu has positioned his carriers in the place that, well, it's a place that's not that likely for the Terran to scan. It's in between the two Nexuses. Normally Terran scan around the Nexus. Who knows, though? He may be so prepared for that he may end up scanning that location anyway, since it seems very trendy now for Protosses to do that. It may have even been wiser for Bisu to actually position his Stargates outside of his main to a place that would be even harder to scan. But then again, if he did that, he would also be very vulnerable to having that getting pushed and then losing like a total noob. So who knows? Scouting probe picked off by some Vulture Bikes. Now remember, it looks like Goliaths are already on the way. The range upgrade already being produced. Now, I'm very, very curious to see when is Berserker going to push. What is he waiting for? The sooner he waits, the more danger he's in. Had he pushed maybe like a minute ago, this game might already be over. And here he's going now. He's decided this is the safer moment to do that. Protoss must hold this off. He needs to get at least 2 carriers out before the carriers will be really, really effective. The architecture of the map really favors carriers. They can retreat endlessly, picking off Terran units. 2 starports at the middle left. Oh, this could be a very sexy game. Getting some wraiths with the cloak ability. Considering that if Bisu is getting carriers this early, and he is, he will not have a Robo Bay, making cloaked wraiths very powerful. Here he comes now. About to close in. Note the positioning of Bisu's gateways there to hold off of early Vulture Bike Rush, but he will lose these gateways. 2 carriers out now, though. 1 gateway down. And Bisu is walling his opponent in with pylons so that he cannot reinforce this. That is pretty damn good. Now moving in here with the carriers. Is it enough, or will he lose his interceptors in the process? Unclear. Picking off at least 1 tank, I think. No, it's not. That last interceptor looked like 1 lone moth flying over the Terran army, and here we go. It looks like the Vulture Bikes have come in here, now putting on the killing blows. Bisu may lose within a few minutes if he doesn't hold this off. Vulture Bikes taking out a lot of probes. Carriers on the way to try to help. And here comes... Oh no, he's going to lose his Nexus too! This is so bad for Bisu. Angry SCVs destroying the pylon. And Wraith's on the way. Oh my god, I cannot imagine Bisu winning now. Because when the Wraiths get the cloak, they will not have observers there to spot them. Here he comes, going to take out these tanks. If he's wise, and yes he is, he does not want to let the tanks get back to the probe line, picking up even more probes. It's a possibility. Here comes the Vulture Bikes, which are faster than the tanks. And this could be the neck-breaking move. And Forge is now being built, but is not what Bisu needs. He needs to get the Robo Bay. Carriers are already on the way. Bisu, low chances of winning this game, if not no chances of winning this game. Once again, the Vulture Bikes continue to pound any expansion attempts and any opportunities for the carriers to actually leave and start doing damage. Now picking off this last tank, but Cloak is on the way. Oh man, Bisu's going to be so pissed. I wonder if we're going to get a shot of his face right when this happens. Right when he's like, what? Okay, here it comes. Oh man, this is going to be so brutal. He's probably going to leave right when this happens. He realizes now he's going to lose all of his carriers to a couple of Wraiths. Oh man, that sucks for him. That is so painful. Oh wow! Incredible game by Berserker. Yeah, he looks pretty pissed about that. Oh wow. Well played by Berserker. Just so strong. He's so, he really knew how to be aggressive, but then how to follow it up strategically with a different unit mix, which Bisu could not defeat. Really well done. Now we're going to be going on to our 4th game very soon. Bisu has been eliminated. Anytime advancing, Flash advancing, so we have a Terran and a Protoss, and then another Terran, Berserker, taking down the Goliath that is Bisu. So what does that mean? That means that our final game, well, it's going to be a Protoss versus Terran. So far, the number 1 ranked Kespa player has been beaten in an upset. The number 3 ranked Kespa player has been beaten in what would be considered somewhat of an upset. And finally, we have the number 2 player in Kespa coming up. This has been very exciting. Again, this is Nick Tasel's plot.
Hallucinations, such as visions of
really happy to be casting these games for all of you. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I am. Now, here we go. We're going to have a brief 5-minute break here once we introduce the next monster players, which are coming up soon. There were a lot of screaming fangirls during that last game. Screaming particularly so for Berserker and bawling their eyes out for Bisu. Man, really, really great games back there. I just can't reiterate how strong that build, that response build that Berserker did was. I believe Bisu, yes, he's still in the booth right now watching the replay. He was considered to be one of the favorites to win this, and he is now out. Again, Stork versus C up next. Bisu has now left the booth. He does not look very pleased. Still probably very frustrated. I think he might have wanted to go for an early reaver during that game. Maybe get the Nexus a little bit faster. But I think there's really not that much you can do if you get pushed early on and you one-gated. You just don't have really any options. Especially because Terrans nowadays, they know that the Protoss is going to go for fast carriers right away anyways. Really exciting games here at the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. A lot of people have been asking if we're going to be getting another caster here. We are looking into that. There will not be any more for this event other than me. But the events turned out to be really successful. I'm excited to give you guys all the numbers. I can't say them just yet. Stork versus C. Stork ranked number 2 in Kesba. C ranked number 5, the highest ranked Terran. Ranked higher than Berserker. More like badass Urker. I mean, he's just really proven how strong he can be this game. We are still waiting for this for these next players to enter the presentation. So until then, I will keep rambling like this. Again, this is Nick Tastel's plot. We're down here in Seoul, Korea. I live here. I've seen some people asking that. I have moved here to broadcast StarCraft tournaments. And taking a break.
Times
What do you say?
몇 분 남았어요? 몇 분 남았어요, 성국 씨? 성국 씨.
여기요.